and I'll never back down. In the middle of the ring is where I lay the Smackdown. Against all odds, I will always prevail. So when you step to me, it's like hell in a cell.
Greetings and salutations, this is Christopher Daniels. I'm talking to my main man Delzinski right now. Any video game show, any video game channel, any YouTube channel called Vintage Shizzle is indeed hashtag Daniels approved.
Yo, alright guys, Delzinski here. Welcome to another We Talk Weekend. And as per usual, I am joined by my partner in crime, Smack Talks. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, man. I'm getting excited because we're just days away from 2K16. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I cannot wait to actually get a copy of the game in my hand and then be able to release some awesome content, because hopefully that's what I'll be able to achieve.
You should do. There's plenty of awesome content to be made. What's your plans for next week? Is there certain content you're going to be uploading?
Well, probably going to be testing out some bits for Universe Mode, because we will be taking a break after tonight, and tonight is Hell in a Cell. That's the final 2K15 pay-per-view that I'm going to do on my channel. So be testing out that, playing around a bit more with the breakout scenes, because I only got to test that just a little bit at the press event. Really, I just want to kind of, just have a bit of fun with it to begin with, see what we can create. That's always been the most exciting bit for me on any WWE game, has been the creation suite and playing around with things. So, to be honest, most of my time will probably be spent, testing out arenas and seeing what I can and I can't do.
Absolutely. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Like when you first get the game, it's something I always do, like jump straight in the creation suite and just see what is possible. And that's one of the things where, even though I've had time to play the game, there's so much in there, I haven't had time to explore it fully. So I'm going to enjoy just like sitting back and being able to create stuff and actually import textures, because we haven't had the chance to do that yet. And they've just released an app for it as well, so you can do it through your phone now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a 2K16 app on the App Store. So you can just take a photo or save a photo from like your browser, upload it through there. So much easier than the actual website.
That is actually a brilliant idea. So fair play to 2K for doing that, because it was a bit of a pain in the arse doing that. Do you know what I used to find really annoying was the EA Game Face one. That used to annoy the hell out of me, because you had to
That was
upload.
so bad, that.
Yeah, it's really fiddly. So like having an app and being able to take the picture that way is much, much better. So that's cool. I'm going to have to check that out after we've done We Talk today.
It will. It looks really good. I can't wait to get that and just start creating.
Yeah, so you'll be able to bring back Smith Tuck, and I'll have Dash and Delzinski all kitted out with a brand new attire. That's going to be awesome.
An Eva Marie attire?
Possibly, maybe.
You can have her as your manager as well this year.
I know. But I mean, really, once that happens, surely I'm going to take over, fam. Surely.
Well, why wouldn't you, with like such a great manager behind you?
I know.
Forget Paul Heyman. It's all like Eva Marie.
She can do sneaky headlocks, and then I can just grab the victories.
Okay. She'll wear them right down for you. You just watch a match, that wears you down.
Oi. Don't be saying anything about my Eva that way, all right?
I was talking about your match.
Oh, really? Oh, that's fine then.
There you go.
So this week, obviously, we are on a bit of a 2K16 hype. We're very excited indeed. But as well, we have got to talk about the next WWE pay-per-view, which is Hell in a Cell. I think they're just copying me, to be honest with you, because mine's Hell in a Cell as well. So.
Did they not have that schedule first? It's also presented by 2K16.
Is it?
It is. It's all tied in together.
I should be sponsored, really. SNME Universe Mode should be sponsored by 2K.
You need some sponsorships in there. I'm sure there's someone out there willing to give you something.
Come on, 2K UK. Listen, come to the dark side.
It is the dark side, is it?
Is that like a Star Wars quote?
I'm kind of reeling here because you just like quoted Star Wars.
Well, there you go. Once in a blue moon and all that sort of stuff.
Did you even watch the trailer this week?
No, did it involve lightsabers? Did it involve lightsabers? Come on, I'm trying to show that I know something.
There was lightsabers in there. I can't believe you haven't watched it. It's such an awesome trailer. Like, regardless if you're a fan of Star Wars or not, you need to watch it.
That's the noise it makes, isn't it?
I think a car just went past or something.
No, that was a lightsaber.
Was it? Strange lightsaber.
That's how it sounds.
Mm-hmm. Little. It sounds more like a speeder bike going past.
All right, I tried.
You tried. I'll give you an ear for effort.
Anyway, let's get back to Hell in a Cell, because that's what we're going to be talking about mostly this week on We Talk. We're going to be covering the matches and what we think of how it's been built. Yeah, we'll talk about that. First of all, though, before we do get into the Hell in the Cell, and it's kind of quite timely name because actually, to be honest, some moments of the build to this pay-per-view have indeed been hell, I think.
Quite a lot of them have been hell.
So that's kind of good. In a way, ties it in nicely.
In a way.
But first of all, we've got to talk about some real positives because obviously we mentioned it, I don't think it was last week, I think it was the week before. We mentioned James Storm joining NXT and he had that debut. It was shown on the WWE network. I thought it was pretty good. I liked that they haven't changed him very much because I got to see it firsthand now. Crowd reaction was good. And James Storm just seemed very, very happy to be involved in NXT. I watched his backstage interview. He even said, sorry about your damn luck. So there's not been any tweaking or changing to his gimmick at all. He is 100% the TNA James Storm, but just in the WWE now.
That's quite cool. I haven't seen his backstage interview. So I was wondering if he was going to go with, like, sorry about your damn luck. I thought maybe that would be, like, catchphrase of owned by TNA. So it's cool if he actually owns that. I think that'd be awesome seeing there. He's got the name and everything else. It was just literally James Storm from TNA in NXT. And I thought that was really awesome. The crowd reaction, it didn't seem to be what I thought it was. Like, I thought it'd be a lot louder. But it was still a good reaction. You had like one guy just sitting there like as if he didn't know who he was. I'm sure everyone knows who James Storm is. But I thought it was a good debut. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. Hopefully he does get signed like a full-time contract. And hopefully he's over here in the UK for December's tour.
I liked as well that he's kept all of his attire. So he's like, I think he might have tweaked it a little bit, but he's not the bearded outlaw now. So, I mean, you know, they even had the graphics. They had that logo that he's been using. So, I mean, yeah, maybe just like Joe, Storm's got quite a lot of clout in terms of his creative and how he's going to be looking and booking because that's a good thing. Like, they didn't change Joe because I always thought they would change Joe's attire, particularly because, let's be honest, Joe's attire is pretty atrocious.
It is, but there's not much you can do to like change it. You did change it up in TNA. You remember when he had like, was it like the towel and stuff on his head?
Oh, yeah.
It never looked great, did it?
When they were hinting that Taz was going to be like his manager. Yeah, I remember that. And do you remember when he came out wielding like the samurai sword as well?
Oh, I think I've just like totally like just made myself forget that. It was so bad.
And he had the little face paint thing. He looked a bit like Umonga.
Oh, the face paint was the worst part. That was terrible.
So I kind of expected something like that to kind of come into his gimmick a little bit. But he hasn't really got a gimmick. He's just Joe and he likes to kick ass and take names. And that's a good thing about James Storm is, again, sorry about your damn luck. Sorry, not sorry. I'm happy with that. If they bring in guys like this and Triple H gives them that freedom to be the character that they are, which is themselves, that's what we need.
It's ideal. It brings into question like what TNA like actually do for people. Like if they haven't come up with this gimmick and the logos, everything like that, and they don't own any rights to it, it makes you think like all the people in TNA having to do this all themselves. Are they coming up with their own like logos and catchphrases? Things, it's all copyrighted by them. It makes you wonder if more people go to NXT, will it be the same thing? Will we see them rocking up with the same names, same logos, same attire? It's strange. I thought all that would be like completely contracted into TNA because with the WWE, they seem to like produce everything for like the superstars and divas, so it's all owned by them. Where it seems to be like the individuals are actually doing it in TNA. It's
pretty shameful, to be honest, if TNA aren't tying people down, like, you know, like with catchphrases and stuff. Like, you know, that's again, you know, wrestling 101. WWE have taught us that from the beginning. You know, you slap a royalties right on it on things, and you know that ensures that people can't take things elsewhere. So you know, TNA have again dropped the ball.
But it's something to do all the time, so it doesn't really surprise us.
Just to make a quick note on things, because obviously we talked about James Storm here. I talked a little bit about TNA. Did you see Global Force Wrestling really advertising and ramping up their events with Vegas. And I saw the arena, and I have to admit, there's quite a few things that I liked about all of the stuff that Jeff Jarrett's got going on at the moment. I like the ring. The ring looks great. The green ropes, the logos on the side of the six-sided ring look. I think it looks really smart. And then the belt as well. I don't know if you've seen the belt. Have you seen the world title that they've got?
I've seen the belts that they released yesterday, the silver belts.
I saw the gold world title. That's the one I saw.
I don't know if I've seen the gold one. I've seen like the 2 silver one. It was like next gen.
Yeah, someone
the
tweeted
knockouts or women's. I'm not sure what it's called in GFW.
someone tweeted me saying, they thought the other ones were better, and I haven't seen them yet. But I did see the world title, which I'm sure it was, and I thought it looked smart. I'm like thinking, branding wise, they have done, what TNA should have done when they rebranded on Destination America. Like TNA went and got that new logo. It looked all right. They rebranded the ring. They did the lighting. They had the stage done, but they didn't rebrand their titles. Like this was something I was calling out for ages, that they repackaged their belts instead of having that King of the Mountain belt that's floating around now. Jeff's gone like all out and done it all. The graphics as well for GFW look smart. The blue and the green. Tail of the tapes that I've seen look awesome. I really think that he's started off with a nice little product. It's just whether or not now he can get the talent in to make it evolve. But everything in terms of brand and packaging, and we all know this is important. WWE proved this. Jeff Jarrett's done well, I think.
Yeah, he's done really well. I think like overall it's looking great. The only little kind of thing that I'll maybe pick at is the titles I did see, the silver ones. They looked very, very similar, like with the silver and the green. Whereas I think in WWE, you know the difference between all the titles. I think just sort of glancing at it, those titles looked so similar. It's kind of hard to tell them apart.
Do you think that? Well, I think I'm just weighing up. I think if they can get those titles on the right people from the beginning, from the offset, and make it really credible, I already think that they can surpass TNA very quickly with the way that TNA are just constantly dropping the ball left, right and centre. And if Jarrett keeps up his production value, because that's one thing everybody always says about Ring of Honor, they're like, well, Ring of Honor's got the stories. I don't watch a lot of Ring of Honor, maybe I should. But everyone says, oh, Ring of Honor's got the stories, but they don't have the production value. But it looks like Jeff has started off very well with good production value. So if he can get the right guys in the right places and produce some good storylines, he's definitely on the up from the offset. He's really challenging a lot of companies straight away.
Yes, I think he's like set up now to do really well. It's just maybe the roster that's not
That's the
biggest
problem.
I think that is the biggest problem. It's just not the biggest selling point for them. Where TNA, there's people that I'm still invested in. So it all depends on how the roster goes. But I think in terms of the looks of the show, the titles, everything else, I think it's all set up to easily surpass TNA.
I think the trouble is, and obviously we've kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent, but I think the trouble is he's got to secure like someone, if he's going to get like Anderson and, Luke Gallows from the Bullet Club, he's got to try and secure like AJ Styles, but that would mean he'd have to prize him away properly from New Japan. I think that's a very difficult task.
It is. I kind of see him like going back to like the US just for JFW. I think the only way he would kind of come back just now, while he's at kind of this high point, is if NXT or WWE, like main roster wise, we're calling. But I don't think he'll switch to GFW. I think he's been there and done that in the past with TNA. So I don't think it's something that he needs to do or he'd really be too interested in doing.
I think it definitely goes to show that GFW have learned from the mistakes of TNA, the way that they've managed to make things nice. I'm just quickly having a look now at those belts that you were talking about. I really like them.
The silver ones?
Yeah, man. I kind of agree with you. Possibly, maybe they could have, and this sounds really, WWE-ish, but maybe the women's title could have had a bit of pink in there.
Well, that's what I mean. I think like the Divas Championship, it stands out as like, you see the silver and the pink, and you think, well, that's the Divas Championship. Whereas this one, you see like the green and the silver, and you think, well, hang on, those two belts are exactly the same. Like it's hard to tell them apart. So maybe like something a little different, the way that WWE have like the silver and the pink for the Women's Championship, the bronze for like the tag team. So it's all like quite different designs. They all stand out in the kind of individual. Where these, I think, are kind of like very similar, and I don't think that's a good thing.
The world title, I do like. I'm looking at that. It is very different to the rest, but they've all got the same thing. They've all got the green in. I'd say that next gen title's cool. I like that next gen belt.
I've just checked your Twitter feed for like the world title, and that does look quite cool actually. Like with the so it's kind of circular with like all the circles in the green. That looks pretty good.
But you ain't gonna like, question where that belt's come from. You're gonna know that's GFW. That's the trouble with TNA's world belt now. I'd never really been that happy with TNA's belts. When the Sting revealed the new one, I think it was Sting, possibly casting my mind back. It wasn't that good looking, and then they obviously had, they kind of trashed the whole TV title, and now they've made that the King of the Mountain title, which nobody gives a shit about. But, I'm just looking at these and I'm thinking, good job. The silver's different. The silver's definitely different. I mean, the only silver title that I can remember of recent is that ECW one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like the ECW one, I didn't mind it. It was just like that was fully silver. So I like the fact that they've added a little bit of colour in with it, just to kind of make like the name or whatever stand out. Where the ECW one, it just blended into it. So from a distance, it was just a silver belt.
If that belt wasn't an ECW belt and that had been something else, I don't know, Cruiserweight or something, that belt would have been cool. But it was just so demoralising knowing that was meant to be the ECW like championship. It was like, this is really not the ECW championship.
Well, it was with it being silver as well. I think you think of gold as like being the champion, where silver is kind of like your second tier, which I guess is what WWE seen as ECW as.
Yeah, and I think that kind of ties in well with that next gen. I'm pretty impressed. That's the sort of belt that I wouldn't mind having,
It's nice, I'll give it that. It's just I like it when they're like quite different.
I need it to have some sort of credibility behind it first, because if this company lasts like 6 months, I can't be doing that.
I thought you were going to say like you need to have like an Eva Marie image or something like that on it.
No.
That'd make it stand out.
That would be cool, though.
For all the wrong reasons.
I mean, I've already got one of those titles, thanks. But yeah.
You can make that custom belt in 2K16.
Exactly. Oh, I was going to say, right, so I am in the process of putting... let's try and sum this up. I'm putting aside a little bit of money so I can pick up a title of some sort, because I've always wanted one, but I've never bought one. I've always wanted one of the championship belts. I went to the Sting event and they had them on sale there, and I was thinking, I really want one of these, but I can't really justify spending 350 quid on a belt when I don't have that at the moment. And then like I've told you about this, Paul, and I think I mentioned it a little bit. I did go horse racing the other week, and actually
was you looking?
Did get a little bit of winnings. So I'm almost there. And what I want to put out to the We Talkers is, what belt should I pick up? I really, really like the one that I saw at... I went to like a... I really like... Let's just sum it up. Doesn't need to know where I went. I really like the belt that Seth Rollins has got at the moment. I like some of the old school ones, but I just like this belt. I like the
It's good to get like the current one in there. Like... I would go for like the Attitude Era one, like with Austin, like the iconic one you see him with all the time. Like I would love that belt, but at the same time, it's so expensive, and it's not till you actually see it in person, like where you think, "Wow, that looks so amazing! I really want that." Like just to stick on the wall, it looks so good. But it's like, oh man, for the price of it, it's hard to justify it.
Well, when I went to the Inside the Ropes Sting event, they had the blue world title, the Blue Eagle one, which I think Warrior had. Was it Warrior or Slaughter? One of them had it.
Is this like the really old one?
Yeah, so they had that blue one. They had the current, which is awesome. They had the white Intercontinental one, which I won't be getting because...
You're not getting the spinner?
No way. But, I've seen the current one a couple of times now. I've held it a couple of times, and I don't know what it is, because I always thought I would be against all the little jewels and stuff in it. But I think that's what does it justice. I like the side plates as well, and plus you can order custom side plates now, so you could get Rollins ones or Lesnar's ones. So yeah, I'm kind of tempted. If I can hit my target, then yeah, something I want to buy. So we talkers, put the question to you: what belt should I get? Which one? Let me know by the comment section below. I'll probably end up buying the one that I want anyway. But it's worth getting some ideas on it, because I am a bit tired at the moment whether to go old school or new school.
Yeah, everyone's just going to bomb the comment section. ECW, go for the silver one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's the question on today's We Talk. That's the big question. And we'll get back to our subject that we were talking about. So yeah, GFW is looking good. GFW is looking very good. The belts look good. Looks like they've done a good job. So only now we just have to see if the shows go well. And I know they're recording shows, so time will tell.
It will. It's just strange with all the ones they've already recorded now bringing in these belts. Like, it seems a bit strange that these belts weren't in place at the time. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. I'd love to see them like just put up some kind of tournament to lead in like winning these belts. Could be interesting.
Well, I just think that it sums everything up very nicely. That pretty much feels like to me that all they did was they used TNA as a stepping stone. So they didn't want to involve their titles or anything like that. They'll use that King of the Mountain belt. That belt was almost at points we were thinking was going to become the GFW world title, and it never bloody was. It was just a case that Jeff Jarrett smartly marketed to get GFW on TNA, and now he doesn't need him anymore.
It's been a master plan from Jeff, hasn't it?
He's done well so far, and as I say, feels like he's learnt from his mistakes with TNA, where he can kind of see, the writings on the wall. So we'll have to wait and see. But all in all, positive. Crowds look good there as well. I'll add that. So that's always a good thing. But yeah, GFW, get amped, I guess. I'm not sure about that amped term.
I'll wait for now. I'll just reserve it. But I'm sure I could probably get there. It looks good so far.
Yeah. Something else just to quickly touch on before we do move into Hell in a Cell. Tyler Breeze this week made his Smackdown debut, and I tweeted out that I was kind of pissed off about this, because my point of view is that Tyler Breeze is better than a Smackdown debut. I really didn't understand why, when you've had guys like Kevin Owens go straight up, Sami Zayn appeared on Raw. Adrian Neville's done the same. I expect Finn Balor to do the same as well. Yep, they might all be former NXT champions, and Breeze has never reached that height just yet. But Breeze is like almost one of those cornerstones in NXT, because he's been there for such a long time and he's put over so many guys. And I kind of thought that, it would have done him more justice to have put him on Raw and not do what I hope they're not going to do, is make him into an Adam Rose-esque sort of guy, because you start out by putting him on SmackDown, it can only lead to that he's going to be a mid-carder. And I don't think he has to be a mid-carder, because I think his gimmick is good if you have that angry streak, and that's what Tyler Breeze has got. He's got the model, the look, but he's got that aggressive side. That was something I always banged on about with Adam Rose. If you gave him that, you could make him a bit more credible. They never did that. Adam Rose is a bit meh. They're trying to sort that out. Still meh. But what do you think? Do you think that he deserved better than a SmackDown debut?
To be honest, I didn't mind it. It took us by surprise when I seen he was debuting on SmackDown. But I think at the same time, we've seen so many NXT people rock up on Raw. It was kind of good to see something a little bit different and bring them in the way that they did. It's just, obviously it doesn't get the same impact as it does when it's on Raw, because you've got more people watching when they've been live. But at the same time, I don't think it's a bad thing. We've seen loads of things happen on SmackDown. We've had like a lot of Money in the Bank cash-ins take place on SmackDown. It's a good way to actually advertise the show and get people to watch it. I'm just kind of surprised that they've done it this week when they've got Dolph in a match at Hell in a Cell. I thought they would probably get that match out the way first, and then if they're going to put him in a program with Dolph, then do that sort of the week after when all these sort of new feuds are kind of beginning. It seemed a bit strange to have it now, unless he's going to sort of interject himself in the match on Sunday.
Have we got a bit of an issue with him being paired with Summer Rae?
Not really. I don't really mind it. Like, I think she's probably the one person that's been really screwed over in the like Dolph and Summer angle, the way that it's gone. So at least like it gives her a chance to stay kind of relevant and stay on TV. Whereas otherwise, what she's going to do, she's just going to get lost in the shuffle again and sort of go back to backstage segments, and there's nothing going to come of it. So at least it's good to see her in like this manager position for Breeze now, and I think it could work out pretty well.
I hope so, because I mean, she's just kind of jumped from person to person and never really been given a fair run of things. So I think Breeze is the sort of character that would do her a bit of justice because I mean, the only trouble is with Breeze is I've always thought that he's thought that he's a cut above everyone else because he's a model, and now all of a sudden he's got someone on his arm. Is that the sort of Breeze that we'd expect?
Well, that's the thing. I think generally, if someone was with like someone else, they would be looking at her as like she's on like his arm. Where now it's like the other way around. So like she's the one that's like admiring Breeze, and it's like her catch as opposed to him like with her.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm worried. I'm very worried that they're going to just make Breeze a boring mid-carder, and they definitely... I still have the little, the reservation that if I was an NXT guy at the moment and you told me I was going up to Smackdown, I'd probably say, nah, I'll stay down here, thanks.
But I wouldn't be surprised. But like at the same time, I think in terms of Breeze, you say another mid-carder. I think in terms of his gimmick, mid-card's probably where he would be. I don't think he would go any higher than that. Not like to begin with. In time, yeah, but not just now.
I guess, yeah, I always have that concern that when you get that beginning, it's almost like a beginning of, that's it. Like he doesn't like when Kevin Owens rocked up, you kind of knew he was going to be a bit of a big deal, even though he's kind of slipped a little bit down. He's still the Intercontinental Champ, whereas you've put him on the second show already.
I get where you come from, but I don't know. I think with Breeze, we're probably worried about seeing Adam Rose and how that went, but with Breeze, I think it's like slightly different. It's not as like outrageous as the Adam Rose stuff was, and I think there's more that you can probably do with it. Like even the selfie stick, you can like go around with the crowd and stuff, and sort of get the crowd involved in it. So there's so many different things you can do, and I don't really worry about it. I think you'll like turn out to be pretty well. I think you'll be a good addition to the main roster.
Cool. I hope so, because I really like Tyler Breeze, and I think that he potentially did deserve an NXT Championship run, and every time he kind of got going, it kind of got halted. Like, even when he was having that big feud with Hideo Itami, that kind of came to a grinding stop because Itami got injured. So, I really want him to succeed. I don't want him to become a mid-card shuffle, so fingers crossed.
Well, I think it's a good thing he's coming out of NXT, because like he has had so many losses, and he's the guy that sort of people can go up against and get like a win. So we're seeing like the former ECW guy Justin Liger come in and have the match against him and stuff. And it's like he's that guy where anyone that comes in, they can put him with Breeze, and Breeze does that, but he doesn't then get like a program for like a world title or anything like that. So I think it's good to see him on the main roster. It's something different for him, and it gets him kind of out that rut that he's been in.
I agree. I kind of agree. I agree because looking at him previously, he has been struggling a bit for finding that feud, that chosen feud, and he didn't really kind of get it with Finn Balor, which would have kind of been interesting. But I think they're looking more at like your Joes, and with people like James Storm coming on board, he is getting a little bit lost there. But he's got to make a statement on SmackDown, and that's maybe him coming in the way he has is that statement.
I think so. I think it'll be good, and I'm sure he'll get his time on Raw. I'm sure we'll see him like rock up next week and have a match on there, and he can show what he can do.
Glad they didn't change any of his stuff, like his selfie stick, his music and stuff. That I think they have learnt the lesson from what they did with the Ascension.
Yeah, totally. I think staying with that is the best way to go. It's been around for like so long, people's used to it, and at the same time, people are new to it on the main roster. So all those people that have seen it all this time, they know it works. There's no need to change it.
Nope. If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it.
It's the best thing to
exactly. So let's move on. Raw obviously kind of was just that sort of go home show to Hell in a Cell. Lots of legends coming back, which is always nice, and I feel that it was definitely needed after I think Raw the week before drew one of its lowest ever ratings. I think it was. So after the week before, they needed a boost. They got it. They got Stone Cold Steve Austin. They had The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Shawn Michaels, all in attendance. I've watched bits of it. I haven't gone full throttle into Raw. I thought it looked a decent show. I think when you get the superstars like your Austins back, just to be there is exciting. Obviously, we had the Stone Cold podcast with Brock Lesnar as well. I thought to myself, yeah, this looks good. Watching the highlights, it was good. The Undertaker segment between Brock Lesnar, I thought was a really decent way to get us ready for Hell in a Cell. The fact that Undertaker saying, when you take all these things away from somebody, then you've got nothing to lose. And I think that's great because hopefully we're going to get to see a really physical match inside the Hell in a Cell. I'm unfortunately not getting to watch it live, which is a shitter. But
no way. You need to be watching this live. Stay up for it. Set your alarm.
Oh, man. You've no idea how difficult the next day at work is when you just can't function.
Go to bed nice and early. Set your alarm for what? I'll send you a message when the match goes to begin. You can get up and watch it.
Watch it.
And then just go back to bed for a couple hours.
Gonna try. I'll try and do something because I think this one could be. I'm surprised they did bring it so far forward because we always thought it might be a WrestleMania card match, and considering they have, it looks like they're looking for a big payoff. So fingers crossed. And that has stole, the talk of the card. I don't think we're that fussed about the championship match at the moment, but yeah, that segment on Raw for me stood out, and obviously Shawn Michaels. Not burying, but once again, Seth Rollins being belittled in front of the WWE Universe. Again, great to see Shawn Michaels, but Rollins is really getting a bitch slap every week. So, what was your thoughts of Raw?
I thought it was really good. I actually enjoyed it this week. I mean, a big part of that was all the legends coming back. I didn't see any tweets or anything about it, so I was watching this the next day because I tried to avoid what had happened. And when it kicked off and Austin came out, it was just a huge surprise, and I absolutely loved it. And it was so cool to see. And then later on in the show, seeing Michaels as well, and that interaction with Seth. Fair enough, he did get kind of bitch slapped, but at the same time, just the tease of one more match from Michaels against someone like Rollins would be so amazing to see. Just the thought of it. I don't think we'll ever get it. But then just it kind of continued throughout the show, not just the Michaels and Rollins stuff, but seeing other people like Ric Flair pop up. And it's always cool when you get stuff like that happen. But I think this is just a one-off where leading into Hell in a Cell, because of the low ratings, they've had to kind of do something to bring them ratings back and lead into the pay-per-view. So it was cool to see. But overall, I don't think it's really sold us too much for the pay-per-view itself. I was just more happy to see the legends in action.
Would you like to see that match happen then? Would you like to see? Do you think the quote that Shawn Michaels was what Rollins said, that he's the future Shawn Michaels, or and then Shawn saying that he was number 2? You think that's kind of true? I don't really see Rollins as that. It's weird in a way. I think everyone thinks that that's Dolph Ziggler.
But I think he's just been they've said that for the storyline. I don't see many people comparing him to Michaels. But in terms of his ability and stuff, I guess maybe he is someone that you could really compare with Michaels. But he's got a long way to go. He is kind of that chosen one, just like Michaels kind of was in a way. So he's been handpicked to go at the top. And it's going to be interesting to see how his career plays out. But if it stays the same way it currently is, whereby he's having all these easy wins and lots of help, then I don't think that's anything like what we're seeing with Michaels. He had the ability to go through and was able to show that in matches.
Yeah, I think that's the bit. We all know that Rollins has got the ability. It's just he's not having. Well, he is having really decent matches, but it's not like Michaels had those feuds, didn't he? And they're the feuds you'll never forget. And Rollins has got to have that feud and be credible whilst he does it.
Yeah, Rollins is the feuds that we'll want to forget.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Kane is not gonna slot into that area as a classic, so to speak. I don't know. It was an interesting reference, I thought, anyway, and it teased something that possibly could happen. I mean, like I say, they've got to fill this stadium in Texas. They're teasing all these matches. Are we ever going to get any? I don't know.
Well, it's strange because the last couple of years we've kind of had matches made in advance to kind of build WrestleMania around, where next year it seems to be an open book at this point. We don't know what we're going to get. So I think there could be a chance that they might try and tempt sort of a bigger legend back into it, just to have that one more match. And I think Michaels and Rollins, like, I would love to see that. I think that just lead to such an amazing match. And just seeing HBK back in action, that itself would be so incredible to see.
Exactly. I mean, Shawn for me is the greatest of all time. So if we got to see it against Rollins, whew, that's bought my ticket. Thank you.
But it would buy everyone's ticket. It would have to all go out. Like, no excuse to miss that. It once in a lifetime.
Anyway, let's quickly touch on it with the Michael segment. Did it enhance your hopes of Hell in the Cell as well? Because we're going to talk about the match in a little while when we get through the card. But did it make you think, wow, I'm really looking forward to this now?
Well, that's what I was just saying. Like, it was cool to see the legends, but it didn't really sell us on the pay-per-view itself.
So that's the trouble. That is the trouble. That we got all these back, I think, to boost ratings more than anything else. I thought that. What do you think of the Taker segment?
It was pretty good. Like, I thought he was going to come out and like speak to Austin, like when Austin introduced him. But then when he was coming out, I was thinking, well, hang on, this is like the Dead Man Undertaker. Like, he's not going to have much of a conversation. But then when I seen that Austin had actually left the ring and it was just left to the Undertaker, it wasn't that bad. It was all right. And with Lesnar coming out, I thought they did a pretty good job of selling it. And it was different to what we've seen in the past. I don't think they needed to go for like the big brawl and everything. We'll see that Sunday. So I think this was done pretty well.
I think you might need to get a bigger hat because he did have a massive mark on his forehead.
He did, didn't he?
It was a massive one.
When I seen that, I was like, hang on, what is that? What is that off his hat? It looked so strange. It was just right in the middle of his forehead as well.
He's in the process, though, of getting back to the old school Taker because you can see he's growing his hair out. They don't use any new screenshots of him. It's always the same old one with the long hair. That's what they want. That's what they're working towards. So, I mean, I liked it. I liked the segment. I thought Lesnar played it well. Heyman having a go at him. This is not your time. This is not your time. This is not your time. Jumping back down. Teased it nicely.
Yeah, it's something that they always do really well. So I think it's done its job of making us more interested in this. But I still don't think it's going to be a classic, but I'm interested to see who wins it. I think more the outcome than the match itself.
Yes, indeed. So let's kind of go into it then. Here we go. First, no particular order here, but the way that I've seen it is that we've got this match: Ziggler, Cesaro, and Neville versus Rusev, Sheamus, and King Barrett.
Well, this is the pre-show match as well, so this kind of kicks the show off.
I'll point out a few things here. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Why have we got Cesaro, Sheamus, Rusev, and Ziggler on the pre-show? And I'm not discrediting Neville and Barrett, but I mean, there's 4 guys in there that I'd say have been quite featured a lot on TV, and they couldn't get onto the main card.
But there's nothing on the line in this match. And if Sheamus was to cash in, then surely having him on the pre-show card, that's better than having him on the main show. Put some time in between it.
Not happy with Cesaro being there.
Well, I couldn't really think too much of what Cesaro's been up to lately.
Yeah, that's the problem with this though. When I'm looking at this match, I'm like thinking a little while ago, everyone was so high on Cesaro. We thought he was going to be up there contesting for the championship. And what I'd like to possibly do is I'd like to go in there and go grab Cesaro and take him out of this and just drop him in that world title match and push Kane out the way.
Well, maybe that's something that we'll see like going forward. I think this is like a pay-per-view where a lot of these feuds are going to come to an end. And I think a lot of these have been pushed into this match to kind of end it. I was surprised Stardust wasn't in there as well. I thought he was actually in the match. And then sort of I looked at the card again and I realised he wasn't. So I think this will probably be the end of like the Ziggler and Rusev stuff finally. So this will be their last match. And hopefully they just keep them apart for a good while. Other people, we've got Neville and Barrett, who's kind of had Sheamus kind of joined in with that feud as of late. So I don't know, maybe that could come to an end. But I think this is one of the matches, along with Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt and a couple of other ones, where all these feuds are going to end and we'll finally get some change and some freshening up of like all these different rivalries and new people going up against each other.
I know, but still, I don't know what it is about pre-shows and things. I just don't feel happy. Like the Mr. Money in the Bank. Do you think they regret giving Sheamus the briefcase? Because they don't seem to be utilising him that well.
I think they regret like having it, like in general, like at the minute, because it's not really something I can see getting used on Seth at the moment and winning. So it's kind of like when he does use it, I don't expect him to win now anyway.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm worried about, really, because I don't really like... I like big payoffs when it comes to cash-ins, and I think that the more that they don't utilise Sheamus... Because, I mean, if I was Sheamus, I would be a lot more, you know, ramming it down Seth Rollins' throat that I can cash in at any point. And it just feels like there's... I mean, he came out, he did do stuff at Night of Champions, but he hasn't really been too vocal about it, so... I don't know. I mean, everything that we're talking about kind of just takes away from what is this match about, and it kind of sums up what is the point of this match.
Well, it's a pre-show match, so that kind of sums it up, doesn't it? I think in terms of like prediction-wise, I just say like pre-show you always get like the good guys winning, so I would go with like Team Ziggler to just get the win here. And I'm just happy in the fact that this should be the end of all the like Ziggler and Rusev stuff. That'll do me.
Well, I think everybody's happy for that, to be honest with you. I mean, who doesn't want that to end? Please, somebody tell me if you don't want this to end. And really, everything's utterly broken now completely, because I'm seeing pictures constantly of Rusev and Lana. So
it's just awful. It's completely fell apart. I'm sure there is someone out there that's really enjoying it though. They're like such a huge fan of it, and they're hoping for like DLC showcase of this.
No.
Not sold, are you?
No. Just no. In terms of the match itself, I think it'll probably be one of those matches that's a good way to get the crowd hyped. I mean, you've got a good selection of guys in there that I, in general, like. I mean, I think Ziggler puts on always a good performance. Cesaro, for me, I think he should be booked better. Neville's going to be flying around left, right and centre. Rusev can put on a decent match. Sheamus, I as much as people just say he's boring, I think he's just good with his hard-hitting style. I'm a fan of Sheamus. I think he should be booked a little bit better. Yes, he's Money in the Bank, but he could still be on the card.
I've lost interest in him in the way that he's been booked. I liked him when he first come back, and he's kind of new look and things, but I think they dropped the ball with him. I think all this stuff with Randy Orton, it just totally killed it for us.
I think with him, he's just got to be booked as a complete bastard, if that makes any sense to you.
It does, but it's like they had the chance to do it, and because they brought him back at a time when they were really pushing Seth, and they're still pushing Seth, they can't do anything about it.
You remember when he was originally heel, when he was feuding with like Triple H and stuff like that? I mean, he was a right prick back then, and that was why you hated him.
Yeah, but it's just... I don't see them going like that route with him. They did it a little bit when he first come back, but then they kind of moved away from it again. So it's a strange one. I think time will tell like how he cashes in if he wins it. I think that's then time to really push him forward. But until then, they tend to not push someone who's got the briefcase in the hope that you'll kind of forget about them a little, forget that they've got the briefcase, and then they can surprise you and go and win it.
Well, sometimes they just think you can completely forget storylines 100%. Like, for example, Rusev, where you forget that he ditched Lana in such a manner.
No one's going to forget the months of torture we've suffered from that.
Or when you forget that, or you just magically make Eric Rowan appear out of nowhere, and like it's not a big deal, you know? There's just tons of things that the WWE enjoy to throw in our faces. Prediction.
I'm going Team Ziggler, Neville, Cesaro.
I'm going with that because I think that Team Sheamus, Rusev, and Barrett will be dysfunctional, and they'll probably meet their own demise. So
possibly, I think Rusev will be the guy to take the fall. I don't think they're happy with him, not with like letting the Lana stuff out.
Yes, politics as per usual. Let's move on. So my next match on the card that I have got is the New Day versus the Dudley Boys.
This should be an awesome match again. Like the New Day always steal the show, so I'm really looking forward to this. I don't think they're going to lose the title, so I think they're going to keep them on the New Day for quite a while. I just don't think it's right to give the Dudleys it when they're so new to coming back so soon.
I'll put an interesting thing to you. Like, I really like the New Day, but are they going overkill with the New Day? Are they going to burn them out before they've really, established them? Because
No.
you don't think so.
Nah, I love everything that they're doing. Like, we always say, I always say how much I hate seeing the same person throughout 3 hours of Raw with Corporate Kane. But with the New Day, I would be happy to sit there like for a full 3 hours and just watch the New Day because they're so entertaining. And like three of them, like there's so much that they do. So I'm really happy with that. I kind of get enough of them at the minute. I just say keep the titles on them because the first reign was quite short. So this one, I think it deserves to be longer. And the Dudleys need to really earn that 10th title, not just like 2-3 pay-per-view matches in and they've got it. And like with TLC coming up, I think there's a good chance we'll wait until then. We'll get like a tables match or something. And that'll be like the chance that they then get to win the 10th tag title.
I think it's kind of funny in a way that with the New Day, like a little while ago, no one was even fussed about any of these three guys, and now all of a sudden it's like they've exploded. And I completely agree. I think the thing is that makes them entertaining the most is obviously the fact that they're just nuts.
They're just themselves. That's the best thing. Like when they first come out, we had the promos for the New Day. It was like such a like forced thing that we're having to do, and yet now they've just changed that around and they're acting up as being themselves. And what we say that's the best way to get a gimmick going is just make it an over exaggeration of yourself, and that's exactly what they are.
They've done that well because they've started bringing in like Xavier Woods' like gaming channel and all that sort of stuff. They're beginning to feature that as well. So they are acknowledging the way that these guys are. That's good. I agree with you. I don't think they should drop the belts at Hell in a Cell. I don't think it's really going to do anything for the division if the Dudleys picked up the belts at the moment. If there was more feuds going on, then possibly it could get interesting because you could see the title moving around quite a bit. But I don't think there's anyone else there. So I think this feud's going to continue. But I don't think it's going to mean that, the New Day are going to be chasing the titles. I think it's the Dudleys, again, going to get screwed with a screwy finish, which means they continue to chase the titles. I think that's the way this one's going to go.
Yeah, well, I think there's been like 2 DQs or something that they've had against them, maybe. Like the live special in Madison Square Garden as well. So I can see them still going with a screwy finish, but I think he'll probably get a pinfall this time. But I think it'll be a case of Woods somehow like causing a distraction or something like that. And it won't be very clean, but I definitely see the New Day picking up the win in this one.
Yes, I can't see any other way. I think it will be, and if they do get close to losing, then they're only going to cheat anyway.
Yeah, well, they're really good at it, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't mind them just doing that anyway. I think it'll be pretty good.
So that's second prediction. In terms of where do you think? So we both agreed.
What? We kind of go against the New Day. No one can go against the New Day.
Well, it's the power of positivity.
It is.
Okay, next one. I'm not sure if this will be positioned here, to be honest, but we'll go with it. Kevin Owens versus Ryback, and this is a match I'm not really looking forward to.
Really? Your surprises?
Ryback's back. That's probably why.
What's wrong with Ryback's back?
There's nothing wrong with Ryback's back. I'm just not really happy to see Ryback back.
It's not good, is it? I think this is just like your obligatory like rematch, and then hopefully we'll move on to something else. I'm just hoping that this is a case of the same thing happens. Owens gets the win, and I would like to say it'd be a clean win, but I don't think it will because his title reign at the minute it's been a little lackluster. So it'd be good to see him get a clean win, but I don't think that'll be the case. I think he'll probably use some kind of tactics like he used last time, where I think he raked at the eyes of Ryback to get out the shell shock and then hit him with his finisher. So I think it'll be the same, but I think hopefully this just ends this little rivalry. I would love to see someone like Neville come up next because I think Ryback's kind of limited in the moves that he can take, so it stops Owens putting on these classics that we're used to seeing with him. Whereas like someone like Neville, I think the sky's the limit for them to have a match and just go completely all out.
Tell you what, I'd be freaking pissed if Owens loses.
Well, I was surprised he won in the first place, so I couldn't rule it out, but I would be really annoyed if he did.
I really think that Owens could be the guy to take the Intercontinental Championship the way that they wanted with Daniel Bryan, but they have to have that feud that will make that happen. And Ryback's not that guy, and it's worrying because it feels like that if that's the sort of guy you're going to pair him with constantly, it's not going to do anything for the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, that's what I mean. It's kind of like ruined his title reign at the minute because it hasn't led to the great matches I was expecting, like with Owens and the great reign. But I don't know. I think if they switch this up and we get someone else in there, it could be completely different. I think it's just Ryback and Owens isn't a great fit.
Who would you put in there?
I would put Neville in there.
Put Neville in there?
Yeah, I think he's due like someone different to feud with. And I think him and Owens, that could lead to some amazing matches. Like the moves that Owens pulls off, the top rope moves and stuff, where it's sort of like a brain buster he kind of reverses into. Like that's never something that you're going to see in a match against Ryback. He's not going to be able to take that. Whereas like someone like Neville, he can easily take that, and not only that, he can sell it like incredibly well. So it looks like he's almost died from it. So I'm looking forward to just seeing what the two of them can do. I think it'll lead to some awesome like, exchanges.
Is Sami Zayn due to come back soon?
He is. I think he's like the main contender for the Open Challenge.
Right. Okay. So because I'm interested to see. I think that they will probably progress with the Owens-Zayn feud at some point because they never really had a lot of closure from NXT.
That would be a good way to go with it. I think he's obviously someone that could fit into this, and it gives him a chance to also go for that title on the main roster. So it'll be interesting. I think maybe if he comes back on this pay-per-view, he could kind of get involved in the Cena match, and then it brings him back, and from there you can go on with Owens.
Yeah, I'm just looking for anything that will get us away from Ryback. I'm sorry, Ryback fans, but that's the way I feel.
Well, I can't blame you. I kind of feel the same as well. But I will say credit Ryback. He's come on. He's not a great fit. You get two superstars like this, and you want them where they can work together and put on a great match, and they just don't fit very well.
Yeah, that's the problem. I can't sit there and think it's going to be a classic. I just can't. So, yeah. So I'm going to go for it. I'm obviously going to make my prediction. I think it's pretty clear to everybody. Kevin Owens, retaining.
Kevin Owens. It's got to be.
Wow, we're doing really well. We're on the same page on all matches so far.
I think it's pretty easy to predict this pay-per-view, to be honest.
Now, did I miss something here? Because the next match I've got here is John Cena versus To Be Determined.
Yeah, To Be Determined debuted on Raw. Did you miss that?
Yes. Who is this guy?
Well, it's a mystery no one knows.
So, are we saying that it's an open challenge for the event?
It is. It's just his TV open challenge, but he's bringing it to pay-per-view for once. So it makes me think, like, it's on pay-per-view. There's a chance he could lose it. Because on TV, we always kind of really think it's on TV. The belt's not going to change hands. Where pay-per-view, you kind of get that feeling it's on pay-per-view. So this could happen.
Well, they keep hinting that he's gonna drop it and take some time off. So, who would he drop it against?
Well, we just mentioned Sami Zayn. I think he's a like really top contender to maybe come in and get this because we've seen the match with Cena when he got injured. So I don't know if he is back to like full health or not, or if he's still like a while away. But the match he put on with Cena was an incredible match, and that was after he suffered an injury, like in his entrance. So I think he deserves to get another shot where he's like at full health and he can show what he can do. And it just reminds everyone on like the big stage that Sami Zayn's here and he's part of the future of the WWE. And it gives himself to come back on a big stage and then go forward from that.
I think Zayn's a good choice, but I'm going to tell you who I think.
Who?
Well, I don't know why. Maybe, I'm not sure. But because he was teased a little while to go to step up, I'm going to go with Baron Corbin.
I don't know. I'm not sold on Baron Corbin. But I'm not a big fan of him.
But I'm looking at a guy that can come in there and obviously he can take a bit of heat because Cena's probably going to be booked as a face as much as he can be. And I'm thinking like, who would I come in there to kind of take down Cena and put Cena out of action for a period of time, which could write him off TV? Corbin could be that sort of guy because he is pretty dominant.
Would it be smart to bring him up though the same week you bring Tyler Breeze in, another NXT talent?
Yeah, that's a good point. But then, if all right, let's look outside. Any legends?
Well, yes, but on the roster, I would say Daniel Bryan.
That would be amazing, but that doesn't feel like a Hell in a Cell match.
Wait, it's not a Hell in a Cell match, is it? It's a pay-per-view match. It's
Yeah,
just a singles match.
yeah,
He's not
but-
going to break his neck again.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like a match for this pay-per-view. That's too big.
But when you sell this pay-per-view, we've said the match card's not great.
But they ain't going to sell it because everyone will be there. They bought their tickets. If they were going to do that, they would have announced that weeks ago. Remember Batista?
Yeah, but they can buy the network and then watch it on demand 24/7.
Well,
I think Daniel Bryan's the only like big name I can really think of that could actually do it. And if Cena is taking time off, then it'd be good to get Bryan back, because I think from a company aspect, you want someone else that's going to be there for the crowd to cheer and sell T-shirts.
yeah, I just think if it was going to be him, they would have probably done this a lot sooner. I think they would have advertised it more.
They've given him like all this time to recover, which is something they don't usually do. So I think that's good. It's just they tend to rely on the pops quite a bit. So I wouldn't be too surprised. And I think just announcing Cena has an open challenge, you know it's going to be like someone decent. Even like when we got the Shield mini reunion last month, and we say it's like we'll get like a secret partner there. We kind of all knew it would be some kind of legend or a big name. We got Jericho, so I think it'll be the same kind of thing. It'll probably just be Jericho that answers the challenge.
It probably is. I mean, he is the WWE's favourite son.
Someone's coming back. We don't know who it is. It's Jericho. It's always Jericho. It's bound to be, isn't it?
Which version of Jericho are we going to get? Heel or face?
Heel from the way he was with the Shield, and I prefer that Jericho. I would prefer to see that. What do you think about Tyler Breeze though? He's just had his debut.
That'd be wicked. Look, now we're talking business now, right? Because if you do that, you've rectified the situation of me having an issue with SmackDown. But Breeze has got to win.
Wait, he's got someone in his corner, so she could always help out.
So for me, if you're gonna do it, Breeze wins, and Cena can go away for a little while being depressed. But because I'm gathering Cena's gonna, I think Cena's definitely taking time off at some point. I don't know whether it's now or if it's soon, but it would make more sense if they're billing this for Hell in a Cell that it's a open challenge. I think he's going to get taken out. I don't see Breeze being that guy again. I'd like to see Breeze win that match.
I would like to see it be Breeze, but I don't think it will. What would you make of Cena having the challenge answered by Braun Strowman? Could he overcome him? No one else has. Could Cena get choked out? Could that write him off TV? Make the Wyatts look even more powerful?
Braun Strowman's a good choice, but then we're edging into Cena Wyatt feud territory, and we don't want to have the whole world in their hands again.
But that was the only thing that kind of put me off, like thinking maybe that could be the same feud revisited. But if Cena's going off TV, it doesn't really matter too much.
It would be good. If you wanted to establish Braun Strowman really well, whether he's that sort of guy that carries a belt at the moment.
No one's going to take it off him, though.
I know, that's the point. I guess that could be the thing. He just carries it around with him. But doesn't that diminish all the things that Cena's done with that belt?
It does, but it puts the Wyatts over, and I think I could see Bray Wyatt losing to Reigns, so at least it keeps them like quite powerful.
Oh, it's really difficult, this one. It's definitely one for the We Talkers to decide. Who do you think John Cena's opponent is going to be? Comment section below. My final call? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Tyler Breeze because I like the sound of it.
Tyler Breeze sounds good. Could even have someone like Samoa Joe.
Even better. Well, that is a guy that could take Cena down. Comes in, chokes him out. See you later, John.
I think that would be really cool to see Joe get that call, but I don't know. I think he might be working the program in NXT, but then again, that didn't stop Owens, so who knows?
Exactly. Well, that's the other bit. Who knows? Because only the WWE know the answer to this one.
I think I'm going to go Sami Zayn though. It would be Sami Zayn or Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, I guess that Zayn option is probably quite clear with the fact that he's being promoted quite a lot. He's been turning up at other companies and stuff as well. So, okay, interesting. Anyway, interesting. Let's move on to something. I don't know whether you'll find it interesting or not. Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt in a Hell in a Cell. You finding this interesting?
How can you not find it interesting? This is going to be good. I think this could be one of the matches of the night. Did you not see the main event that they had on Raw a couple of weeks ago? Because I thought that was an awesome match.
I think it's going to be a good match. I think that there's people out there, though, that are growing a little bit tired of this feud.
Are you growing a bit tired of it?
I don't really mind it. I'm not a huge Roman Reigns hater, so I like Reigns to a degree. I think I still don't think he's that great on the mic, but I don't mind what Reigns does. So I'm open to watching this match.
I'm open to watching him now. I think I've come on quite a bit in terms of not so much being so sick of him now. I can kind of stomach him a little bit more, and I think he's kind of proven himself to kind of show that he has come on and that he isn't just the kind of green rookie guy that had been pushed into that position. So I think he's shown that him and Wyatt can put on some great matches. Raw was a great example of that. And I think inside Hell in a Cell, it's going to be. It's probably the Cell match that I'm looking forward to the most, because I think there's more that these two can do. I can see Reigns spearing Wyatt through the Cell to get outside, and these two going up top. I can see the rest of the family getting introduced into the match. I can see Strowman coming out like Kane and just ripping the door off. So there's lots of elements, I think, in this match. It could be more of a classic Hell in a Cell match than the Undertaker Lesnar one.
It could be, but I think there's a defining moment in this match which has to happen. And I probably say this every time we talk about Bray Wyatt. What am I going to say? Do you know?
Sister Abigail?
No, I'm going to say that Bray Wyatt has to win. Yes. Bray Wyatt must win this feud. Roman Reigns cannot defeat the odds and take down the Wyatt family at this pay-per-view. If he does this, we're in deep shit with Bray Wyatt. That shows nothing of Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt should somehow, some way, stop Roman Reigns. That is bizarre that I am saying it that way. It should be the reverse. The reverse should be that it should be... I can't believe I'm saying that. If you think about it, it doesn't make sense. I mean, we've got the Wyatt family so strong, all these guys, and yet I'm still kind of putting it across that it's Wyatt having to topple Reigns because of the way they book Reigns.
But what I'll say is this has gone on for 5 months or something like that. The only way to surely end it is if Reigns finally beats Wyatt and gets this whole thing out of the way. That's the only way to get past it. If Wyatt wins, then Reigns is still going to want to get past him.
It can't happen. He has to just bite the bullet and accept that the Wyatts will always outnumber him. That is the closure to the feud.
But they have all the time. That's the thing. They got the win the last time out, so it's all set up for Reigns to overcome the new face of fear, overcome his fears.
No, because that is how every fucking Bray Wyatt match ends. It always ends with him having to lose because someone's overcome him. It can't happen again. It's always
I don't see it going the other way. I know what you mean, and I agree. I think the Wyatt should win it, but I don't see them winning it. I'm predicting it's going to be a win for Roman Reigns.
I mean, I didn't actually see the segment. My brother was telling me, obviously, I think Rowan came back this week, and he just kind of slotted back into the Wyatt family with no sort of concern.
I didn't realise. I was sitting watching it, and I noticed he was on the apron when someone mentioned his name. It's hang on, he's back. Isn't that a big thing? You should have maybe mentioned that.
This was absolutely brilliant. I mean, the We Talkers will know this, but you won't know this, Paul. But you've just turned you just turned into a robot.
What?
Your voice just went...
Oh man, you found out?
He's back now. I mean, I've always had concerns about your roboticness and your keyboard warriorness, and I'm beginning to wonder now. Has all this Star Wars talk gone to your head previously?
I've been exposed. I'm a droid.
He's a what? What's that thing on Doctor Who? Oh, Dalek.
Well, maybe I sounded like that. I don't know.
He did.
Did I sound very exterminating?
Exterminate. Is that? It did sound like that. That was great.
I'm gonna have to listen to it back and just see. Maybe that's the real me. I've been exposed.
He's back. You're back in the room now. You're back with us. But I was a bit concerned for a moment there.
Oh well, thanks for your concern. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Are you concerned for this match, though?
I am concerned for this match. I'm bloody concerned because, like I say, you brought Rowan back, and I didn't even really know about this. And they said that my brother said that he kind of it was acted as if he'd never turned face, but they've done this with the Wyatts quite a lot, haven't they?
But you're forgetting something because Luke Harper and Eric Rowan got back together for 1 week before Rowan got injured.
I know that, but still.
Maybe that's the one of the things that they want you to forget.
They want us to forget a lot of the stories with these lot. But I mean, anyway, I no discredit to Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns, I have no issue with him. I don't mind him being booked strong, but I just think in this match, he shouldn't be booked to win. I think he's just this is a night where the Wyatts reign supreme, and Hell in a Cell is probably the perfect thing for them to do that. They could surround the cell, they could really dominate, and it could be that the kicking off of something big for the Wyatts.
It could be. I think this could be a big moment for them. But I see Reigns win.
Believe that.
Exactly, believe that. It's the only outcome you can believe in. You can't believe that Wyatt's actually going to beat Reigns.
Okay, so let's move swiftly on to the main...
Hang on, you haven't predicted anything yet?
You know what my prediction is. Come on, do I even need to say it?
No, you said Wyatt should win.
I'm going to go with my heart and say Bray Wyatt wins this.
Oh, you fool. I'm going to go with Roman Reigns.
Yeah. We'll see.
Anyone but you, Wyatt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but this is real life, remember? This is real life. Don't forget that.
This is real life. That's why Roman Reigns is going to win it.
Okay, let's move on to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Rollins Kane. I mean, we've covered Rollins Kane so freaking much on We Talk. I think, I would like Kane to chokeslam me just to forget about this match, but it's happening, so we're going to have to quickly talk about it. Yeah. Is it something like that's just done now? We've got to get rid of this. We've got to get it out of the way. But is it right that potentially it could be a Kane victory that does that?
I can't see Kane winning it, to be honest with you. But like I was saying before, I secretly enjoy it. I really like Kane. I like corporate Kane. It's really funny. And you're just sitting there bring back the mask.
Bring back the mask. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm always like. That's what I need to happen.
I just really enjoyed it. At the minute, I shouldn't. I know it's bad booking, and I feel bad for myself for liking it. But I do find it really funny. I just love the fact that Seth gets so frustrated with it. It's glorious.
That's just I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just something wrong with it all, and it's like I said, I just can't take Kane seriously. So I just want the feud to be done with, and I think I just want Seth Rollins to win. But then I'm thinking WWE like to stick it to us sometimes, so they'll just go with Kane.
Well, that's the thing. If Rollins wins, though, it gets rid of corporate Kane. We're just going to get the demon because he'll be fired.
That could, but I don't think it's just that though. I just think it's in general. I'm not fussed about Kane. So I've said this so many times.
But if he fires corporate Kane, if Seth Rollins wins, then it gives you the chance to have Kane go back to being a monster and a demon, and won't get this corporate Kane every week smiling and being so happy. If Kane wins, then we'll get Kane as a champion, and we'll get him as corporate Kane.
Oh God!
I want to say Kane win the championship, and then corporate Kane introduce the demon into the office with the championship and congratulate him, showing that it's not really Kane, it's someone else.
Well, that'd be ridiculous.
That would be amazing.
That would be ridiculous. All right, okay. I mean, do we really need to go into too much detail about this match? I'm not expecting anything amazing. I think Rollins will do his stuff, do his business, and I think Rollins going to win this.
I think you're right. I can't see Kane win this. I would love to see Kane get one last run, but I don't think it's the right time for it.
No. So we're both settled on Rollins.
Yep.
Right. Last, but by no means not least, I left it till last because I thought it'd probably be one of the big. Well, it is the biggest match on the card, and it'd probably be one of the best matches on the night.
Delzinski, you are shocking.
What?
Give Divas a chance.
Oh yeah, I forgot that one.
Is it been that bad?
Oh, bollocks. Well, I did see quite a lot of tweets about it, actually, to be fair. People saying they're fed up with the Divas Revolution. And I didn't say that, but everyone else has been saying it.
You just skipped over it, so maybe you subconsciously are. How do you see this one going?
Well, the Divas match.
Shall I refresh as to what it is?
Charlotte versus
Nikki Bella?
Well, this is the problem. It's the same freaking match, and they booked Nikki last time to dominate the match, and she tapped out in about 30 seconds when she had the figure 4 put on a figure of 8, put on a,
But she has to have a rematch.
She does,
Right,
but she's
got a rematch.
She's not going to win the rematch.
Well, she's not. It would be ridiculous if she did.
So what's the point of the rematch? Save it to a later date.
But they've got to get it out of the way. It's like professional to do that, isn't it? It's like how things work. WWE always does things as they work.
A lot of people are saying that they are fed up with the Divas Revolution, like I said. I'm not really fed up with it. I just think it's been booked pretty crap recently. So this match to me will probably be quite a good match. Nikki's putting on good performances as of late. I don't have any issues.
I thought the match with Charlotte was pretty good, even though Nikki dominated. Like, it was a good match.
I agree. I think this would be a good match.
I think this will be. I think it'll be a good match. And I like the way they're getting this out of the way. Like, I prefer the fact that they do this now, and it then means that we can like move on to something like Charlotte against Sasha, and then we get like that NXT women's type match on the main roster. But at the same time, watching the promo from Smackdown where Charlotte says that Paige didn't have respect for her, then I think we're probably going to lead into Charlotte against Paige, and that'll then maybe have Paige try to earn that respect for Charlotte.
Yeah, I think it kind of leads to Paige being involved in some shape or form, doesn't it? Definitely.
It does, but at the minute she's kind of like stuck with this Natalia situation and who attacked Natalia. Although I think it's probably going to be the Bellas behind it and the kind of Freeman Page. Because like the Bellas, even if they get this rematch out of the way and out the title picture, they're still going to be around there. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they are going to be always around that title picture, unfortunately. They are always going to be there. I don't really know where this one's going to go because I just think that they're trying to break down a little bit of the layers of the whole PCB thing. So they're trying to get rid of that, I think, to a degree. But I don't know. I'd rather just see a good match and then maybe be done with it and then we can focus on a brand new feud. But I think Paige is going to get involved and yeah.
Well, I think there'll be like plenty busy around ringside. There'll be plenty of people down there. So I can probably see like someone getting involved and pretty much the same thing that we've seen like the last few months with like everyone at ringside and it not ending like in a clean finish. But I still see Charlotte winning it. I don't think there's any chance Nikki's got to win this.
No, I don't. And I think it will be a Charlotte win, but it will be a decent match, but probably a lot of interference, like you say.
Yeah, I think be a good match. I'm going to go Charlotte.
I'm going Charlotte. I'm agreeing. So yeah, I did a good job of covering that one.
Well done. I applaud you.
Thanks. Okay. So let's move on to the big match then, yeah? Let's talk about the big match. Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. The build's been pretty decent. Lesnar, it's a difficult one, this one, because people will say maybe Taker needs like some sort of, final victory to sort of have closure. But I think if you're going to book it, I think Lesnar should win.
I think if you're going to book it, Undertaker should win. Because I think Undertaker needs it more. Like,
he probably does.
There's like, with Lesnar, he can lose this match and then go off TV for a while, where Undertaker, if he loses this match and he is off TV, then there's no way for him to then come back and like justify the WrestleMania match and people get excited about it. Yeah. I think the best way to do this is have Undertaker win, even if it's a continued like heel tactic way that he done at SummerSlam to get the victory. And there's lots of rumours saying that he's going to be sticking around a little bit more. So I think if he gets a win over Brock Lesnar, it sets him up right for a title challenge. And I think Seth against The Undertaker, or maybe Seth against Kane, then it'd be ideal to give Undertaker that last run, especially leading into WrestleMania. So they don't have to jump straight into Seth and Undertaker next month. They can maybe keep that to the Royal Rumble. And it can sort of lead in as like the 2015, the start of it, leading into WrestleMania. Give The Undertaker that run with the belt leading into WrestleMania, where maybe you can have his final match.
Yeah, I that makes sense to me. I do agree what you're saying. I think you're right. I think Undertaker probably needs it more. I think Lesnar can take a loss. I always question back though, because they booked Lesnar so strong previously that he should kind of dominate this thing. But I'm willing to kind of sway now more to Taker winning it. I don't really mind who wins it. I just think it'll be an interesting outcome because they had that dodgy finish last time round. Anything could happen in this match. This could be a really exciting matchup. Depends how far Lesnar wants to go, really. What sort of bumps he wants to take. In previous, he's not been too bothered, so he could do anything, and that's what kind of makes this an exciting match.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be it's interesting to see how it goes. I don't think it'll be, like I said in the Wyatt match, like them getting outside the cell and going up top and things. I don't think that's going to be the case with this one. I think this is going to be like confined to inside the cell. But the outcome, I think we'll probably see Kane get involved. So reunite like the Brothers of Destruction, especially if Kane gets beat off Rollins, then it allows him, he's going to be the demon going forward. So pairing up with The Undertaker, it kind of keeps The Undertaker on TV when he's not there, when you've got Kane there and he's kind of affiliated with him. So they can kind of carry that feud in, Seth against Kane, and then lead into Seth against The Undertaker. And it gives you that option of, Lesnar is so powerful, how is he going to get beat off The Undertaker, who doesn't look to be the same kind of full strength that he used to be. So having Kane in there, 2 against 1, it's a good way to actually have him win it, especially when it's a no DQ match.
I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see some colour in this match. I think it's going to be one of those matches where it's going to be really aggressive, and I think that I would be surprised if no one gets busted open in this one.
Yeah, I totally expect that. I think there'll be like some blood in it. I think it'll be quite bloody in a way. I think it's going to be a really like physical match, and whether or not like they do blade or whatever, I think people are going to get busted open, whether they mean it or not.
Yeah, I think it will add to this sort of match. And Austin always says, that points, there's matches that need colour. I think this one kind of does because it's the personal feud. It's so aggressive that someone's going to get busted up. Probably Taker, to be honest. But I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a really good end to their feud. They must have a big payoff planned for it. Surely they do. That's why they brought it forward. Hell in a Cell seems the right match to have.
Right, for the reasons that I've mentioned, I think it is like Undertaker's to win, and
it's his domain, isn't it? Really,
it is. He needs it, for the reasons that I mentioned, and it also this is kind of his match type. So this is his 13th Hell in a Cell match. He's won 6, he's lost 6, and he's already lost inside Hell in a Cell at No Mercy 2002 to Lesnar. So that was quite a bloody encounter as well, what Lesnar went on to win. So I think he's due to get that win back. And being his match type, I would prefer to see him have that better win-loss record.
Yeah, I'm beginning to sway. I think you've sold me on it. So I'm thinking I'm going to come and jump ship and join you with the Taker prediction now.
It's the way to go. It's got to be Taker.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So we are on the final prediction of Hell in a Cell. We are on the same page, and we're both going with Taker now.
See, I think this has been pretty easy to predict.
Well, you'll see when the matches go off, and they're all completely different.
I don't know. I think the Reigns Wyatt one's the one that could go either way, but I think the rest of it, I'm quite content. Maybe this is quite easy to predict.
Oh, we'll see, Smack Talks, we will see. So it kind of brings us to a close of Hell in the Cell. It's interesting, because I did say to you before we did We Talk, I wasn't that interested in this pay-per-view, but now kind of talking about it a bit more, I kind of am getting into it a little bit. So maybe it's just the fact that watching WWE TV Raw as such hasn't really got me going, but actually the matches aren't that bad.
It's not too bad. I think when you talk about it, you kind of like realize, there is like some things behind this. There's a few things that could happen. Whether they happen or not, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, you definitely want to set your alarm and get up for the final match, the main event.
I will try my best. I'll be waiting for the message to wake me up.
I'll message you like as soon as it gets to begin. You don't want to miss it. Like if you find out the result, it's going to totally spoil this match.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that. Yeah, I'll have to. I don't know. God knows. Set 100 alarms and then like just find somewhere to curl up and sleep at work. So, any shameless plugs for you this week to end We Talk?
Well, lots of WWE 2K16 news. So if you check out the Smack Talks channel, then we've got some news on there. I'm going to be covering Universe Mode, which everyone's been asking about. So that news is finally coming today. There's some footage of that. And then we've also got a competition that I'm running with 2K UK. So you can win yourself a Stone Cold Steve Austin 2K16 Smoking Skull shirt. So to do that, all you have to do is check out the Lesnar vs Undertaker video that I uploaded today and leave your prediction on for the match. And if your prediction's right and you're in the UK, then come Monday morning, I'll choose 5 winners at random that predicted the right outcome, and they'll get a chance to win a Smoking Skull t-shirt. Then if you want something different, check out Regeneration X, as we're uploading a new episode of TARDIS Talk. Elle's been playing some Minecraft story mode and some Assassin's Creed, and I'm going to be doing some Halloween stuff with the top 5 scary games of 2015.
Scary stuff.
It is. It's going to be really good, man. People need to check that out.
You should definitely have that in the background every time you say Regeneration X.
We're going to have to try and get something like I'm going to have to like bring back my singing voice and maybe do a cover of it.
To make yourself one of those intro videos, just you doing loads of crotch chops.
How amazing would that be? That's how we should go.
I think you should make this now we've said this. That'd be great.
I'm going to animate some stuff actually this week for Regeneration X. So it'll be interesting to see what I come up with. Gives people another reason to check it out.
It will be. It's good. Make sure you go and check out Smack Talks and Elle's channel and Smack Talks, obviously, current channel, the big channel. Plenty of stuff going on for you.
It is. And 2K16, man, days away.
Yes, indeed.
It's going to be a busy week.
It is. For me, obviously tonight we've got Hell in a Cell. It's my last pay-per-view on WWE 2K15 in terms of Universe Mode. It will be transitioning over, but it will take a little bit of time to work those things out. But yeah, I think we've done it quite well. You guys will have to wait and see what we've got in store for you, but definitely worth going and catching the final pay-per-view. We spent quite a bit of time on it, and I think you'll enjoy it.
It should be awesome. Like the time that you've put into it, like everyone needs to check it out because there's so much effort goes into it. It's one of the best universes in terms of any that have been uploaded on YouTube. So people really need to check it out, especially leading into 2K16.
Yeah, well, the storylines will continue, guys. So don't think that they won't. And I'll what's the best words to say? I'll be celebrating very happily once we do get this up because it has taken time. So, but yeah, guys, make sure you do check it out. I'm aiming for 10, so let's say 10 p.m. will be the time it'll be up. Hopefully,
I shall set a reminder. I'll make sure to check it out.
And that kind of brings us to the end of We Talk this week. So, Paul, Smack Talks, are you going to catch us later?
I'll catch you later for 2K16.
He's really excited. And guys, make sure you let us know in the comment section below your views on Hell in a Cell and what you think is gonna go down. Predictions, comment section below. All that's left to be said is please rate, comment, and subscribe. And as Smack Talk said, he's catching us later. And this is Delzinski signing out.
Hi, wrestling fans and gamers. Velvet Sky here, and I just want to say I've been hearing a rumor that Delzinski.com is the best place for video gaming and wrestling content.